This next match comes to us from Newell, who has 6.5k hours in the game, so more than me, although it's very, very similar. Playing Chucky, who, even though I don't main Chucky, I follow a tremendous amount of Chucky mains. Tomy, Ghost, Bayonet, Ashlow. So I have a lot of like proxy knowledge and experience on the character. We're on Rancid Abattoir, which is the most killer-sided of all the corn maps, so that is working in your favor. Stick like add-ons, it works. You're running no add-ons again, and I have told you before. Please run add-ons. Please run add-ons. Especially since you said this was a Chaos Shuffle match, you have no choice over your build. So it's more important than ever to run good add-ons. So make sure you're doing that. Obviously, I can't say anything about the build because, well, it's Chaos Shuffle, so that's not your fault. You see it picked for you. Chucky is a tremendously good killer. Still is going to be a tremendously good killer, even after the scamper changes. So that is working in your favor.
Can't keep a good guy down.
But as long as it's not over 30 seconds, which it's not, you're good. Yeah, I think Chucky is weaker for the average player, but stronger for like people that main and understand him well. Which is good, because that's what behavior wants, right? Behavior, like a lot of people are criticizing the behavior is moving away from skill expression. That's a better direction for the character ultimately. That people who are good at him can get more value out of him, where people that just want to just like pick him up and win for free can't do that as much anymore. Do it now before it gives you more trouble later. You did lose 30 seconds-ish at the beginning of this match, which is unfortunate. Keep in mind that's like a third of a gen, so that's a third of the gen's worth of pressure that's uncontested. He's out of dead zones. Good. Out of my hands right now. Won't always be that way. Good mind game there. Let's go full than ever before, yeah. I think it's gonna be important to know the more in-depth parts of the character more than it ever has been.
How's it hanging?
I do think it's a way, way, way better choice. Just in the direction of the game and the character to do to focus on the slice and dice part of the game more than the scamper. I do wish they would open up his flick range a little bit more. Not all the way back to 180, but maybe like 120, something like that. But that's just personally what I would do. Yeah, Chucky's a tremendously good killer. Tremendously good killer. I think Scamper still covers a lot of bad situations with really strong palettes, but it just requires more finesse on the player's end than just spacebar and then M1, you know? Would have kicked that, to be honest. There was no sign that anybody was around, so you actually would have been able to regress that gen. Excellent. I love that you like Dino Dance so much, Apple. Our gens has killer if there's no spacebar M1. That's the secret all along. They just gave a killer a spacebar M1 ability. Keeping him level survivor. I'd do a little Chuck spot shenanigans there. Trying to bait him with the Yeah, you got a tremendously terrible build. Not your fault. And the hits you got, yeah. This is a better direction for the character. 100 hours and days gone. 100 hours. She's gonna math and figure out how many days have been gone while you've been playing Days Gone. Weaker than before? Well, we don't judge the strength of characters based off of personal experiences. We base them off of their max potential in the right hands.
There you go.
We judge them based off of what they're capable of. Accuse me of stream sniping? Usually. A good way to avoid that awkward situation, Flutter, is to not enter their chat until after you're done playing against them. Even if you're not stream sniping, they don't get the wrong idea. Does that make sense? I mean, stream sniping is hard to prove, but it's fairly common. So it's like, it's just a murky situation. I don't think I would make a big fuss about it and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that streamer said that. Just in the future, I would be a little more careful about
Where'd you go? Come on.
entering their chat sometimes. I would have stayed on here. You hit too early. You didn't send me that at least. Wow, that was a great hit. Wow. Kinda really kind. That's good. I'm glad. That was really good. That was really good slice and dice. You're making the right choice by going after her here. I like how you implement the fake dash, the fake slice and dice to get people. I think it's really smart. It's something I don't see a lot of Chuckies do. It's like a really good play. Convince them otherwise. I've realized that a lot of discussions in Dead by Daylight kind of boil down to that, Cassie. Is that a lot of people just, it's like you gotta, like, before you have a discussion with anybody in Dead by Daylight, you gotta decipher if they're like willing to listen. Honestly, it's kind of funny. You haven't been kicking gens enough this game. There's a lot of gens you've been passing by that like you should be kicking. There you go. Because even if they come back to it, like the one guy is injured, but like he's not gonna be able to do that unless he wants to just take the free down. And then this guy obviously you're gonna chase to ward him away. Good shot. Yeah, you gotta like assess early if somebody is like even willing to have a discussion. Like there's like certain things I look for. Oh, you should hit that. There's certain things that I look for. Stop. There's certain things that I look for in a conversation when I'm talking to somebody and when they bring up like any sort of debate or thought in Dead by Daylight. If they say stuff like, for example, you're not gonna change my mind, they take that as a challenge. They don't mean like I am so assured in my opinion that I am like there's no way I could be wrong. They literally mean it as in like they mean what they mean, which is they're literally not going to change their mind. So I would at that point it's like don't waste your time on it. As you threw me a wall hacks when I was using the that's funny. I've noticed that you have a gen that was like 90% done, and for some reason you run to the other side of the map. I'm just gonna let them get that last gen done. I know you were trying to chase other survivors, but that's an area, especially with two gens for side by side with one gen left. You really want to defend that. Thankfully, it's still aggressing. Nobody's come back and tap that. That's a scary position to be in. That's going to be way more viable to do after the update. Right now, I would not use the slice and dice for distance. Where are my biases? I think a lot of people don't know their own biases. I think it makes having conversations really difficult. I really don't like talking about the skull merchant thing, because I've realized that it's such a polarizing conversation that either they overhate skull merchant and they just like don't even realize what they're talking about and just like are whining and bitching too much, and that person is not painting the right picture. And there's some people that like either main her, sympathize with her, or sympathize with her player base, who who just like want to over defender because they're like, oh, poor Skull Merchant mains. Or they also play a character that is like overhated. They're like, oh, I understand what it's like to be overhated, even though my character's not that bad. So they just kind of like overly defend from that angle too. It's just kind of like, it's a conversation you can't have straight. I've noticed. Like either people are very intensely defending her or very defensively overhating her, and it's just, it's not even like, it's like a symptom of a greater problem with the D&D community. That people just want to confirm biases and not really like get to the bottom of the truth of things. There's just so, people are always pushing an angle if they don't realize it. And it's like that with a lot of things in the game. I think it just manifests the most in conversations like that. Once again, you're leaving this area that you know a gen is like mostly done. So I would keep on this zone. You've had more than one chase up there at the couch at the top left of the map. Yeah, that gets done. Yeah, you've had more than one chase. Wow, you hit that. You have had more than one chase at the top of the map. Okay, thank you for cutting that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because this is about usually where I start doing this anyway as well. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate that. Thank you. So in terms of your main takeaways, you didn't play too badly. You're hitting a lot of really cool slice and dices. I think your main issue and a big takeaway here is that you had a gen that was like nearly done over by Shek right next to another gen. And you just kept like leaving it over and over and having multiple chases at like a part of the map where there was no gen up there at the top left by Cowtree. You did that with Ace, you did it with Chris. I think Ada even at one point, but like you spent a lot of time away from the gen with the most progress with one gen left, which puts you in a really, really tight situation. Thankfully it panned out, but it was very, very close for that reason. Second takeaway, please run add-ons. I've been telling you for multiple match reviews that you should be running add-ons to play more consistently. So please start running add-ons. Please. Other than that, you played well. That's kind of like the main two that I saw. You were hitting good slice and dices. You realized when you needed to get somebody out of the game, which was Elodie. A very minor thing. I don't even call it its own takeaway, but like you could have very easily, there was a position where you could have gotten the easy down on Ada and at least slugged or hooked her before going back to get Elodie, but that's like really minor. That would have helped. But other than that, it was mostly just like continually leaving the area with the gen almost done. That puts you in a really tough spot. And yeah, please run add-ons.